Marrying the right person is going to be the biggest and most important decision that you make in your life. Bigger of a decision than buying a house, than having a child, than moving across the country. Who you choose to marry and create your life with is the absolute number one most important thing. Honestly, one of the biggest predictors of your health, your well-being, your happiness, your longevity in your life, your financial status, so many different things. I'm a therapist and I work with a lot of people who have very challenging marriages and who have very clearly married the wrong person. And once they're in that situation, it's difficult for them to get out because now you are legally binded to someone. One thing that I noticed that everyone has in common is that they knew their partner was like this, or they saw signs like this very early into the relationship before they got married. Everything was amazing for a certain amount of time, and then they started changing. And then I started noticing, they were a bit manipulative, or maybe they had some issues with spending, or maybe they had certain addictions, or they didn't have the same kind of outlook and style as parenting as me. Little things like that in the beginning you think, okay, we'll be able to kind of work past it, we'll be able to look through it. But what happens, and this is my personal take, as people age and as people go through life and get more comfortable, they get sometimes even deeper in those patterns and deeper in those problems, especially if they're never addressed. And then you have people who are in their 40s, 50s, struggling with a partner who is extremely manipulative or abusive, or doing things that just don't add to the healthiness of the family. Maybe they're going and they're blowing all of the money, or they are hiding and lying. Maybe they're cheating. Maybe they're beating the kids, whatever it is. And obviously, you can be with someone and they may change as time goes on. But the one thing that I've noticed is that people notice these things very early on. If you want to save yourself the hassle of divorce, right, and the hassle of not even, like, that's probably the least of your worries. It would be your own mental sanity, the sanity of your family, the well-being and livelihood that you have of all your financial assets and everything. Please be so extremely picky. Be so extremely careful with who you let into your life, and don't rush decisions. Don't let things slide that you're not comfortable with. Don't think that people will change miraculously, because they don't, right? You can change, but they have to really genuinely want to change. It is better to be alone and to be lonely and figure out your life that way than to be with someone and be absolutely miserable, because it will cause you to die at a younger age due to stress. And I'm not even saying that as an exaggeration. Like, there's research behind that. The best way to know if someone is the right one for you, I would suggest seeing them in absolutely every single scenario and every single setting possible that you can. You need to see them at their complete and utter worst and accept them at that. If you can work with them at their worst, then maybe your chances of being together and having a fruitful marriage can be better. But they also have to accept you, right? So it kind of comes together.